Hello, 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 Rosebuds, and welcome to the Rose Garden. If this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Kimberly Ann. I create content for people all around the world, women in particular, black and brown women especially, because I know we can relate. You know, we got that urban lifestyle. We grew up in the hood, single mama, you know what I'm saying? Seem to can't escape the matrix type thing. Yeah, y'all get my drift. So I create this content just to help people through my story escape what may possibly be hindering their story. Okay, and that's why I create this content. Yes, I'm in a bit of a different space today. I'm not in my car. I actually, because of that AWS breakdown thing, I have so much work that I have to complete for school before next week. It's not funny, and I like to get it done early so then I got all weekend to study for the exam I have next Tuesday. So I had to be at home, so as soon as I get done I can go straight in here and get to work because I got a lot to get out of the way. A lot. Okay. So I don't know if I'm going to do a carpool. I know yesterday I said I was going to do a carpool for that audio message I did, but baby, it didn't go that way. It didn't go that way. Unfortunately, I ended up, the message came through and then I shut it down and I was gone. I had somewhere I had to go. So with that being said, we're going to get into this message. If I feel called to do a carpool by the end, because there's actually a lot in today's message and it's so good, and I hope that it benefits you all so greatly, because it did me. It blessed my heart a lot, to the point that I'm now like in the space of forgiveness after so much purging, and it gives you like clarity as to why, you know, certain people are here and what their responsibility was to you, what your contracts was to each other. So, the collective message: your mirrors are a reflection of your weaker self. Let's deep dive. Okay, rosebuds, my chosen ones, my rosebuds, we're gonna deep dive. So y'all see me looking down, looking at my notes, because I literally had to write all this out because it was channeling through me so fast I couldn't even keep up, and I had to write it down. Had to. So chosen ones, it's our responsibility to first off honor source, honor God, honor the divine, by honoring the reason why he and you agreed to have specific individuals play the roles they did in your movie called Your Life. You can put your name in there if you want to. So I would say in Kim's life, okay? Is a certain reason why I had to have certain people. I start with my first reflection, and that was my mom. My mom reflected to me the silent versions of me that continuously kept choosing and putting others' needs before her own. And she did this in the name and for the sake of obtaining love. Now, in her instance, for her it worked. She got my father. However, sometimes our parents can look to us to mirror their choices back to validate that they've made the right choices in life. And I equated that to my mother was so like, I want you to stay with Millie's dad. I know he's going to change for you. He going to da-da-da-da-da. He going to do what he need. Y'all going to be good. Y'all can go off and be harmonious and love, whatever, together. Okay, that was her reason for wanting me to stay with her dad on the surface. But what it later dawned on me was, my mom would always say, Millie's dad and your dad are really alike. They're really alike. And I was like, I wonder why she keeps saying this. And it hit me if I had have stayed with Millie's dad, because a lot of us don't realize how much our parents actually look up to us and admire our drive and our passions. Like my mom looked at me and she's like, "You're just so free." My mom even said to me, "I admire how you chose yourself in so many situations and decided to leave." My mom said that to me. And, at one point in time, I thought everybody thought I was just a failure. You know what I'm saying? Especially my mama. Like, you just refuse to stay with anybody. But she saw where I was sacrificing myself to make someone else comfortable. So she's like, I commend you. You chose you time and time again. She's like, I feel, you got left with all these kids, but still you chose you and it hasn't affected you really in much of a negative way. Like everyone else starts life tearing up after you walk out, but you just get better and better from glory to glory. So it made me understand, like, okay, she probably wanted me to stay with Millie's dad to validate her reasons for staying with my dad when she might have had several reasons to walk away. And if I had to stay with Millie's dad, it would have validated her reason and her like, okay, I made the right choice. My daughter chose someone like her father. I made the right choice. But by me walking away and I'm like, I'm not going back. Like, thanks for the time. I'm done. I'm cool. You got it. Thanks for the lesson. You played your part. You're fired. Now she has to stop and deal with the realization. And I've even told my mom, I'm not marrying someone like my father. It's not going to happen. I can't do it. I'm going to try and make something this mic, y'all. I said, I can't do it, Mom. He's not my ideal man. He doesn't represent freedom to me. He doesn't represent, if I choose myself, will he get mad? He don't represent that to me. And I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So it made me realize her purpose for that. Her purpose for a lot of choices, actually. And I have so much compassion for my mom now. She seeked a lot of answers through her kids. She seeked a lot of resolution through her kids, which a lot of mothers kind of do that in a way, if you think about it, especially when you have women who get pregnant on purpose to try and keep a man. The kid is supposed to be the answer to why that man stays. So it's suiting. I'm not saying that's what my mother did though, but it's suiting, So it led me to my next bullet point. It said that that's a form of selfishness that really doesn't honor God or source or our divine purpose. It ignores why God needed you to experience that man, that friend, those parents in the first place. When you have ended up being that mirror to somebody and your parents are looking for you to reflect back to them their choices, they want to see you follow in their footsteps. This is the follow in the footsteps thing. I want you to follow in the footsteps. And they're ignoring that just like they had an agreement with God for a purpose, you too had an agreement with God for a purpose. There was a gentleman, I cannot remember his name. He's a little Chinese guy who's all over the internet, pretty big. And if I can remember his name or find him, I'll try to link him in the description below. And I've always had like this inkling as to why we choose the parents we choose, how it comes about. But when he formulated it into words, it made so much sense. And he basically said that our souls and our parent souls have this energetic agreement that we agree upon before we're incarnated. And that is the reason why we end up picking the vessel that our parents create to enter into, because our parents hold certain codes for our elevation. So we end up making an agreement. You are supposed to fulfill this part for me so I can become elevated to this part. You are supposed to fulfill this part of me so I can elevate to this part. So it's mainly a soul agreement. And then our parents come together and create the vessel that is needed for that soul to come down into. It made so much perfect sense. I said that makes a lot of sense. And if more people can like look at life like that, I think a lot of us could have more compassion for our parents, their roles in our lives, and how it benefits us and make us a better human being and a better soul. So that's why I said it's a bit selfish. Sometimes our parents forget their agreement with us in this life. They do forget, and it becomes more of a selfish gain for them to want to see us follow in their footsteps. You have some parents that don't want to see their kids do better than them because then it shows them like, oh, I didn't do so well. My child surpassed me. My child don't even need my help. I need my child's help. And you have a lot of parents, they will do anything in their power to sabotage you from going to the next level. But what you have to focus on behind that is that parent, and it was 11:11 when I finished saying that, that parent's job was put here to light a fire under your ass to make you elevate in a way that honors God and Source. To let the world know through your story, no matter who oppresses you, you will reach whatever level in life you want to reach. And if a lot of folks can look at it that way, and you can look at your mom and them, your parents, your brother, and it's usually the people closest to you. There's another young lady, her name is Maggie, and she's like, why would God use people far from you to challenge you? There's no effect there. It can affect you. Like they say, the devil always uses those closest to you. But if you take out the devil and you look at it, will you learn a lesson from the neighbor down the street that you don't even see every day? No. Versus you receive the lesson from those closest to you, those who are here to help you fulfill your soul's contract. You become a better being under the lessons of those closest to you. Yes, some people's motives get a little bit skewed and become a little bit more selfish, and that's what I was saying. Sometimes our parents' motives can become a little bit selfish, but that too is part of the contract and the agreements that you all came in agreement upon to help you be an overcomer, to help you resurrect into the version you needed to become this lifetime. Whew. Next, it was, I had said, which I've just spoke on this, it's not our job to hold resentment for their behaviors. It is their behaviors that make them human. It's our job it's our job to receive, especially as the divine femmes, and for any of the masculines, your divine feminine side, to receive the lessons and the blessings that comes with those people, from overcoming them, from mastering them, from breaking generational curses, from doing things different. Let me use myself an example. I was raised in a family that did not uphold a good diet. My grandmother used Crisco to fry her bacon. She left bacon grease on the side of the stove and used it every day. Okay? Oh my gosh, she did a lot of stuff. She drank Coke. They drank wine. All that stuff. And then you have my mom. Drunk Coke every day. Everybody eats red meat in my family, except for me. And it's showing the changes that I've made through, even though they've talked their stuff, they say, well, you ain't eating red meat, oh, you vegan, no, I'm pescatarian with a little twist, but I don't eat red meat at all. That ain't finna happen. My body don't like it at all. And through my own story, I gave up all pop. I don't drink any pop. It doesn't even taste right in my mouth. I don't drink any liquor or wine at all. All I drink is water, tea, and an occasional coffee or frappe every once in a while. And it has made a complete difference in my life. My vitals and levels are so much better now than they were in my 20s. I am aging in reverse. And all I simply did was decide to do things differently than my caretakers. And it shows, okay? All they were here to do was to help me receive the necessary lessons I need to fulfill my purpose. Now, with me changing my diet, I may need to be here a lot longer than a lot of them, because my purpose extends this entire lifetime, or extends into a certain planetary transit that doesn't come in the usual lifespan of my family. My grandmother died in her 50s. My mother had a heart attack in her 40s. She's still with us though, but she's currently in her 50s with cancer. And it's crazy. If you think about it, my grandmother had cancer, got the diagnosis, I want to say, in her 30s. My mother got her diagnosis for heart disease in her 30s. Okay. And my grandmother's cancer went into remission for 21 years until my grandfather got sick, who, i.e., was a smoker. Okay. She took care of him. Her cancer comes out of remission in her 50s, and she passes away within a year. My mom, who since she was 22 years old, think of the age, has sought my father, ran after my father, supported him in and out of jail, dealt with a baby mama running up in her face, if not baby mamas. Like I said, they don't tell me all the stories. They tell me some. Have dealt with, since his presence in her life, her and her family don't get along. Chaos arrives. She's always taking care of him, running after him, trying to help him fulfill his dream. He opens up a car wash on Carnegie that don't go far. You know, he puts her in a business to keep her out of the way. All types of stuff. And by her 30s, she's battling high blood pressure to the point they're like, here, you got to get on meds or it's never going to go right for you. And then by 43, she has a heart attack. And not only did I watch the chaos that happened around their marriage, I also watched the chaos that happened within the marriage. And now in her 50s, despite not having to really care for my dad like my grandmother had to for my grandpa when he had his stroke, just her putting dad's needs before hers, now she has cancer in her 50s. Will she die in her 50s? We don't know. I hope she doesn't. Unlike her, my mom, has a daughter who follows Dr. Sebi and tries to live by some of the beneficial herbs that helps the body fight off cancers and get rid of mucus that you don't need. That's stuff that I like to do for myself. I didn't give my mother no type of not opinions, but advice that I don't follow myself. Not to mention the way I even predicted my mother having cancer was because of astrology, at which I actually told my mother, I want to thank you for introducing me to the zodiacs, because if it wasn't for you introducing me to our Pisces sign and you reading my Pisces horoscope in the back of the newspaper, I would have never gotten into astrology. I would have never figured out answers for myself. Why my Lilith in Cancer was the hidden nurturer that I suppressed, that I learned how to read people to the T as I walk in rooms, and I learned how to adjust my energy to make others feel comfortable. And I suppressed the version of me that wanted to be out there, wanted to be embodied and accepted in many of rooms. So I'm not trying to get off track. I'm trying to stay on track. But y'all, I hope it's bringing it all together for y'all through my story, which is what I try to do through this channel. So those shadows only reflected to you where you lacked respect. That was their job. You may omitted or altered your self-respect. Forgive me, y'all, if it's loud. My furnace just came on. I'm kind of glad because my fingers is cold. You may have omitted or altered your self-respect in the name of company, which is what I just told you guys. How my Lilith in Cancer in my 5th house. Yeah. Actually, no. It's my Lilith in Gemini in my 5th house. My fault. Lilith and Gemini in the 5th house. Told to die down, stop being dramatic, sit your ass down. You making us feel uncomfortable. Still the same thing though. Okay? So, and that's what I was just telling you how it reflected in my life. So, for some people, disrespect is their nature. And that's some of the characters that we have in our life. It could be the retarded boyfriend, retarded baby father. A lot of us is our baby fathers. They reflected to us the lack of self-respect that we had for ourselves when we interacted with them. They reflected back to us the lack of boundaries and the lack of non-negotiables that we had in place to protect ourselves. Men grow to love through respect. Women grow to respect through love. And because as women we expect for men to love us because we love them, we are literally disregarding their natural aura, their natural being, their natural character in our life. They are here to show us to respect ourselves. We are here 2112 as I say that. We are here to show them how to love deeply in the presence of respect. Okay? So, some people disrespect their nature because they already lack respect. And that is why some of our children's fathers are some of the most damaged beings, because even though it's their nature to seek respect from people, they lack the depth which love gives for them to respect another being, because they don't even respect themselves, because they don't even love themselves to the core. So that's why they look for different women to fulfill something they're missing in the core. 222, as I said that. I hope this is making sense. So then I want you all to leave this video having more of a sense of compassion, so then you don't hold so much resistance and resentment, if you hear they sound similar, which stops you from being able to flow downstream with the current to get the desires of your heart. If you keep resenting and hating and replaying old stories and not realizing what their purpose was and how it benefits you and it makes you a better woman or man, if you're watching this, you will never grow to be the version you need to be to fulfill your purpose. So you have to understand people's purpose in your life. God made them. Whether you like it or not, God made them too. And that's how you have to look at it. And the only thing you can say is, God made you this way. Because they too have a path as well where they lack respect. Their path is to learn respect. So you have to have compassion for everybody's story and everybody's journey. Okay? So it's not your job, which I just touched on this. It's not your job to scold them, mother them, as what a lot of single moms, that auntie energy or that mother energy like to do to men. It's only our job to accept the character that they signed up to play. And know that without that key role, that key player, that key member of the cast, your movie would not be on. It wouldn't be as good as it is. And it is in that moment of acceptance that you understand the plot and then the plot twist. The plot twist is when new things come in. You get your new lessons. And if you've learned the prior lessons properly, you don't repeat those lessons. You actually get more soul aligned lessons, or lessons that teach you how to receive love, how to receive oh my God, how to receive support from your next cast. Now you can have more of a true supporting cast. People who reflect back to you the love that you've been reflecting to everybody all this time. But it's not until you finish that first sequel. So sometimes the cast must change, and I just say that I'm not even reading this crap. It is just flowing out. Thank you, Spirit. Sometimes the cast must change to start the next sequel. But one thing does not change, Rosebuds. And until you depart from this plane we call Earth, in the physical, you will always be the main character. You will be the star if you are the feminine. You will be the sun if you are the masculine. And in both, within one character, there is a duality of both. There is a sun and there is a star in both. Because what is a sun? The sun is a star. Hell, look, clocking that T. Clocking that T. So, play your part just like any good actress or actor. And like all blockbusters, watch the movie start to center around you and what you want and who you want to co-star. And we all know with all good movies, the main character usually controls the cast. Have we all not heard the reports when the main character didn't like a certain person, they kill them off in the movie and bring in somebody better? We've all heard that. Like, come on now. Once you take hold of your main character energy and put your movie on, the cast has to formulate around you to support your cause, to support your journey, to support your purpose. God will reflect back to you what's inside. God's going to pull out of you these different casted characters that will manifest before you. The places you need to go and perform these movies. Be it a new house, be it a new job, be it a new car, be it another degree. You get what I'm saying? Be it you actually end up as a movie star. You never know. God will reflect it back to you, because once you've changed here, everything out here has to change. Period. It's the law of duality, the law of all those laws, the comedic law, polarity, all that stuff. It has to. That's by law. It has to. It's been doing it all this time, but the only difference is all this time since your birth, you didn't even know you was the main character of your own life. But that's because we had been conditioned and taught that we are to put others' needs before our own. We are to dim our light to make others feel comfortable. We can't act like the star of the show, because then we're considered bougie or too much. You get what I'm saying? That's not true. You be too much. You're never too much for the right people. Be over the top. Stand on business. Create your boundaries. Hold compassion for yourself. That is the most important. My dad told me I was not compassionate enough to get a man, and that was the worst advice he could have ever gave me in my early 20s. I'm talking about it had to be at 20, because it was right before I had Elena. And it was the worst advice he could have ever given me. Because it wasn't that I lacked compassion. I needed to have compassion for myself and my journey and how it needed to unfold. And just have boundaries and non-negotiables, and know that the only person who's in control of bringing your person to you is Source. But Source is not going to bring you your person until you're ready, because there's no point in Source bringing people into your life who are loving and whole and beautiful, and all you're going to do is bleed on them. There's no point. Source is not going to do that. They have to wait until you take hold of your main character energy and you now move around this country like you know who you are. Okay? Let's see. The characters change based on the role you play. Did I not just say that? So I want to affirm before I'm going to do a one card pull, because we're already at 29 minutes. I am the star of the show. No other character is more important than me. The characters in my life are only here to support, mold, and challenge me to become an Oscar worthy star. I only hold space for the greatest version of me. Ashe. And so it is. Okay? So that is what we are doing. I might as well left this sucker on here. Forgive me, y'all. I'm going to do a quick card pull. I got to move my little mic. Put my mic on this stand. I hope this message resonated with y'all. Because, baby, when it hit me, it resonated with me. You heard me? It resonated so good. And it actually kind of brought me to tears because I was like, man, I totally have been running from my supporting characters and dodging people left and right. When in reality, they're only here to play their part. Like, as long as I continue to withhold and uphold, my my part, which is to be that amazing divine feminine queen who is the receiver and a nurturer by nature, and being my authentic self and being that fun, playful Lilith and Gemini 5th house girl that I'm meant to be, the rest will unfold on its own. But as long as I keep running and resisting and ghosting, I'll never learn the lesson. I'm gonna keep getting the same lesson in a different character. Like, the same character is gonna come back in a different face and a different body. So, Spirit, give us one card to close out this reading. And let's see. Mastery. Uh-oh. There we go. Mastery. We have the 8 of Pentacles in the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. I don't know if it showed. Yep. 8 is the number of infinity. So this is you forever. That's what I just got from this. Once you master your main character, this is going to be you forever. You spent a lot of time trying to balance your energy through pain, betrayal, and you've done a lot of work on yourself. But you are now in your forever path. You've now grounded yourself into your new path, your forever path. And now you come equipped with high standards, good boundaries, non-negotiables. And now the potential for your next movie is positive. The potential for the next cast is very positive because now you're embodying a new version of yourself that brings out all the good qualities that may have once been stifled, hidden under all those lessons that you had to learn from those different people. But either way it go, protect your creativity, rosebuds. Protect your creativity and keep developing yourself. You're definitely, because you know what comes after this. It's the 9 of Pentacles. And that is the fruits of your labor. And then the 10 of Pentacles come after that. And that, my babies, that you in heaven at that point. You have now created heaven on earth once you did that. Some of you right now are in that transitional period of going from the person who was always reactive, who held a lot of resentment, who always would ask why it's me, why they do this to me, I would never do this to them. And now you're going to be gaining that understanding as to what their role was in your life. And you're going to be okay with releasing them because now the role is over. You've learned the lesson. The moment that you realize why certain people had to enter your life, and I'm going to use me for example. My my daughter's father was brought into my life for two reasons. One was to make sure I learned the lesson of self-love and self-respect. Not that I lacked respect, but it could have been a little bit better. Could have had a better boundary. Self-love by me not doing what my mom does and putting everybody before her. It wasn't until I got with him when I kind of realized that I was bleeding. I was pouring myself out way too much. And then I stopped. One day I just stopped. I stopped pouring out for him. I stopped pouring out for the skate community that I was a part of. I even stopped pouring out for my mom. And I had to stop and recharge myself. And it was through his presence that I did that. Because it made me realize how much I was overdoing it. And at first it was, I'm overdoing it and I'm not reciprocating it back. Now it's, I was overdoing it and not doing enough for myself. They were who they were, and that's okay. And I love them. I thank them for their presence, but it's no longer needed now. Now I'm ready to move on and be the mirror I need to be for myself and for those who are attracted into my life now, who have self-respect and self-love as well. And the second reason was to bring our daughter Millie. Me and him are both very strong vessels. We were boxers. We came from strong backgrounds. Both endured a lot of crap. Amelia is a star seed. Like Amelia has the intuition of God. Like I give my kids intuition tests where I'll ask them things that I know they wouldn't know, and they get it right. Millie gets it right on the head all the time. She's able to recall things that she shouldn't know. She's able to predict things on top of that. And she's so enlightened. She is aware enough to tell an adult that, hey, that's not right. And she ain't wrong about it. So I understood why he needed to come in, because that spirit needed two strong bodies to create the vessel strong enough to hold her really big soul. Millie has a really big soul. And I understood that now. And now that I get that and I understand that, now there's a level of appreciation and a level of love for her father that I will always have for him. Do I want to be with him? No, I still don't. But I appreciate everything these last 5-6 years have brought to my life, because I wouldn't even be here talking to y'all. So once y'all get to that point, Rosebuds, baby, it's fair game from that. I can't wait to see what 2026 holds for me, with me releasing so much resentment this year. This year I had to learn how to release resentment. And remember I told you guys I did the 13 wishes. My 13th wish got fulfilled. I did become one with Source. So I learned that Source was not outside of me. God is not outside of me. And that's something that, Rosebuds, I really hope you all learn as well. That's something I can only tell you from my experience, but it is something that you would have to learn on your own. When you start being able to listen to your internal guidance system and trust it. When you trust it, you become one. And I trust mine. Like, mine has been on 10 for since that blood transfusion and the transfusion that I had. The blood transfusion my daughter had and then the transfusion that I had. Oh my goodness, I don't know where that fly came from. No doors and no window or none of that is open, and a fly just popped out of nowhere. Those of you that practice hoodoo, you already know. And it flew towards my door, so it know it need to see its way out. So that is the end of my spiel, Rosebuds. I love you guys. to the moon and back. You guys are so amazing. This just flew out. Ace of Cups. I love you guys to the moon and back. You're starting over. Remember, this Ace of Cups has been coming out, y'all. Some of y'all start a new path. Bye, Rosebuzz. See y'all later.